Now moving to an ambitious project to clean up the Jordan River, an organisation which brings together Jordanian, Israeli and Palestinian environmentalists is working to prevent sewage from running into the river, part of which forms the border between Israel and Jordan. Well, for more, we can go to Amman in Jordan. We're joined by Gideoen Bromberg. He's the Israeli director of the group EcoPeace Middle East. Great to have you with us. Thank you for joining us. So, first of all, could you take us back a step? What has gone wrong with the Jordan River? Why are parts of it so polluted?
So, firstly, thank you for the invitation to speak about really this historic cabinet decision that took place the other day in Israel. The Jordan River, south of the Sea of Galilee, much due to conflict, has been turned into, sadly, little more than a sewage canal. Over 95% of the fresh water that used to flow down the lower Jordan has been diverted, half by Israel, the other half by Syria and Jordan together. Unfortunately, with the removal of the fresh water, all sides started to dump sewage, agricultural runoff, fish farm waste, you name it. And because the Jordan River is the border from the Naharaim, from the confluence of the Yarmouk and the Jordan rivers, all the way down to the Dead Sea, Israel, Jordan, then actually Jordan, the West Bank, then sadly no one has taken responsibility. So the conflict has been at large responsible for the demise of the Jordan River. And now, I think for the very first time, we're seeing responsible action taken place by this government decision, really led by the Minister of Environment, Tamar Zandberg, and the Minister of Regional Cooperation, Frej, with really important contributions here from the Water Authority, the head of the Water Authority, and their commitment to release fresh water again back from the Sea of Galilee to the lower Jordan, but only for a stretch.
Right.
So, although this is an historic decision, it's still just a first step, an important first step, but nevertheless, more cooperation is needed that involves Israelis, Jordanians, and Palestinians together,
right,
to see this come through.
And I was going to ask you then, have you had cooperation from the two governments and from the Palestinian Authority? Are they all working together well on this project? Because, of course, the River Jordan is hugely important to this part of the world, isn't it?
It's important to our part of the world. It's important to half of humanity. The River Jordan is considered holy by Jews, Christians, and Muslims together. And it's really unacceptable that us, the Abrahamic people, have turned this river, in these last 60-odd years, much due to the conflict, into little more than a sewage canal. Yes, there is cooperation. About $100 million of investments have already taken place. In Jericho, the Japanese government have built a modern sewage treatment plant that's currently treating about half the sewage of the population, of the Palestinian population in Jericho. The American government have built a sewage treatment plant on the northern side of the Jordan Valley, on the Jordanian side. And the government of Israel has removed, in fact, all raw sewage from her side, from Israel's side of the Jordan River. And now, as this first step shows, we'll start to release 50 million cubic meters of water down the Jordan River, which is about 10 times. It's moving from about 10 million, so 5 times more than what we've seen over this last decade.
It's interesting to hear that Jordan and Israel will be working together on cleaning up the Jordan River, because another plan to exchange water for electricity didn't really go anywhere, did it? Because of opposition in Jordan. This is different, you say?
Well, actually, that's not the case. The declaration of intent that was signed last November on the water energy exchange is very much still in discussions. The parties are working out the details. There's going to be further presentations by the three sides, including here the UAE and also the Americans. So that still very much looks, in fact, very positive to move forward. And building on that, I think that indeed we can see promising moves to work together to rehabilitate the River Jordan. And here we must all work together. It's Jordanians, Palestinians, and Israelis. We all contribute at the moment, to pollution. And if we don't work together, pollution needs to be removed from all sides in order to rehabilitate the River Jordan. So,
Gideoen Bromberg, it sounds like a fantastic project. Thank you so much for telling us about it. Thank you.
A pleasure.